Hey there. As soon as you've dumped your burdens outside the door, find your seat. You know where to sit. The place is always reserved just for you, and we're so glad to have your company. Here we go. The reading is of The Flower of Freedom, an original book by Deborah Reeves. All rights reserved. Chapter 23, The Arrangements. Uncle Key seemed to scowl for a moment at what Paulette had said, and then he was trying hard once more to be a pleasant host. He wanted to know everything about their school years, and he asked them both many questions about their childhoods. He mentioned that he had been delighted by Marie's transcripts, and that their school had mistakenly sent Bertie's as well. He told them that they both were impressive indeed. He went on to tell them that they were so impressive that he had no difficulty whatsoever in getting Marie Claire admitted to the most prestigious high school in Paris for her final year before university. The fact that she had such a focus on sciences and math, he said, made it far easier for the French educational authorities to give her credit for the courses she attained in Canada. He went on to say that if Marie could keep up that sort of performance, he had assurances from some acquaintances at the Paris Sciences et Lettres PSL Research University that she would be a prime candidate for admission the following year. He himself had attended the Sorbonne, the preeminent school for finance in France. He went on to say that her grandfather had attended PSL, and that would also help her case for admissions. They have a very highly rated medical school there, he told them. Even though it would still be irregular for a young woman to be admitted to medical school, he asserted that his contacts would ensure she would not have to battle such nonsense. If she wanted to be a doctor, she would be a doctor. Aunt Paulette seemed to sniff at that declaration, but Bertie was overjoyed to hear her uncle take such a stance on Marie's behalf. When the elderly gentleman asked Bertie about his plans for the future, he almost crowed to hear that Bertie had his heart set on engineering. Aunt Paulette seemed similarly impressed. Before lunch was served in the grand dining room, Uncle Aki insisted upon showing them to their rooms. Marie's was very grand. It was decorated in an elegant style that had nothing whatsoever to do with Marie or what she might like, but rather it was the height of fashion, and it was impressive. The paintings on the walls seemed like they might be original signed works of art. There were large closets and built-in drawers. Aunt Paulette promised that they would soon be filled after their very first shopping trip. The guest room where Bertie would stay was smaller, but no less impressive. It was right next door to Marie's room. It was one of 4 in the penthouse, so Bertie was told that if it was not to his satisfaction, he could choose one he preferred. Bertie assured his Uncle Aki that this one was just fine. The luggage was already in the rooms, and although they longed for time alone to compare notes, that would have to wait. They were told that luncheon would soon be served. In the dining room, the walls were hand-painted in a mural of a life in China. There was impressive collections of blue and white porcelain in a cabinet on the wall, with larger pieces standing on pedestals in the corner. A huge crystal chandelier bounced light all around the room. Uncle Aki held the chair at one end of the long table for Aunt Paulette. He pointed to a chair in the middle of the table for Bertie, and he progressed to holding the chair across from him for Marie. Uncle Aki took the chair at the furthest end of the table, and he beamed a happy smile. He said today would have made his brother very happy. We are together again. he rejoiced, and Bertie took comfort in the feeling that the old gentleman was utterly sincere in his joy about having Marie in his life. Bertie was pleasantly surprised that he had not been invited to eat in the kitchen or sleep in the pantry. He had been worried about the welcome he would receive, but he had come determined to endure anything for Marie's sake. The reception that he was getting was unnerving, most especially from the old lady aunt. It was as though she thought Bertie was the one who was related to them, and if she could, she would have dismissed Marie to the kitchen and the pantry. The old gentleman was nice, though. He was most fascinated by Marie, as anyone might expect, but he was considerate of Bertie's feelings as well. For every 4 questions he asked Marie, he asked one directly to Bertie. Bertie had seen the evaluation in Monsieur Pommade's eyes since the moment they had gotten off the plane, and Bertie felt as though he was passing muster. The old gentleman was warmer by the hour. It was all very proper and measured. As far as Bertie was concerned, the old lady started off way too warm. Bertie tried to ignore her attention, but he had to ensure that he was being pleasant and polite for Marie's sake. Every time he looked at Madame Pommade, no matter where he was, she was staring at him as though she thought he knew something. What on earth could she want? That's the end of chapter 23, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again for chapter 24. That one's called Getting One's Bearings. As always, it won't be the same if you're not here. Please try to come back soon. Bye.